what we can see here is that I've got my painting station set up at the moment. As you can see, we've got wet palette there, a couple of brushes set up, IKEA light bulb, dog in the bed behind. I've got the 5 Death Company out ready to go for this hobby challenge that we're talking about. And then what also is on my paint dish is the bases for the guys ready to go. Got my fist on there, which I'm not really sure about the colour scheme I've chosen, so I sort of stopped halfway through. I've got a pilot for a Storm Raven, I've got some arms for a Tactical Marine there, and the Tactical Marine just hiding behind the paint pot, and then there's my painting box right here, so you can see an assortment of odds and ends. I'm sure, like everyone else's painting box, a complete tip and very uncoordinated. So back to the Death Company that I'm painting for this hobby challenge, and they're all in various states of disrepair at the moment. So basically I've got a white primer on them all because I'm painting them white, which is more of an ascension to death rather than the going looking for death. So basically they're going out trying to take as many lives as they can, and from that they ascend up to heaven to join their forefathers and Sanguinius. You can see the jump packs behind, again half finished. I'm a master of half-baked projects at the moment. But again, back to this Death Company. So we have on the right hand side here, you can see that we have one white Death Marine, so just base coated. Haven't found any arms for him yet, need to sort that out. And then we've got the next stage of the painting that we've come on. So he's been painted, the Grey Marine has been painted white and then washed with Bad Black. And he's ready then to be moved on, and you can see on the far left here, this is sort of like the 3rd or 4th stage that I'm painting, and you can see that I've blacked out the head on this guy, and also, if you look very carefully, I'm moving back into camera shot here, if I can, I've started to go over the black base coat, the black wash, sorry, with white, and just make it all stand out a little bit more. So he's a little bit streaky at the moment. You can just see on his shoulder guard there, just, he's a little bit streaky. So again, it's lots and lots of thin coats of watered down white paint. So these take absolutely ages to complete. So a bit of a nightmare. And then again, you've got the 2 other Marines, one at the top and one in the middle there. Again, they're just base coated white, ready for their shoulder guards to be painted, pauldrons to be painted, and then and weapons as well. So all in various states of painting stages at the moment. So tonight I think I'm going to wash the guys that haven't been washed yet, get them grey. I'm going to paint black shoulder pads on them all and the weapons, and I think I'm just going to do a little bit of white if I can on the Grey Marine, and maybe touch up a few bits of white on the other Marine as well. We'll see how we get on. Anyway, that's me for tonight. See you later. Okay, and here we are after just washing the first 3 guys. Easy stage done, if you like. A couple of things just to note about washing though. It's a fairly easy stage, you just slap it on, but a couple of things you want to look out for, because there's so much detail on these Marines, as you can see on this one with his robe and then the honour markings and the details on the chest plate. There's lots and lots of gaps. It's really easy to let bubbles come in there, and if they basically get loads of bubbles with the wash, and you find that they'll dry up, then pop, and there'll be a horrible little white spot there. So you've just got to watch for that. Make sure in all the recesses you don't want any bubbles whatsoever. Also, you've got to watch that you don't really want too much wash collecting in the recesses too. So in the bottom of his robe here, you can see there's just a little bit too much wash in there. So I just need to get a brush in there and make sure I just dab that out a touch, especially when you're washing on white. This one's about right. You can see in the back of the legs, you can see the ridges, but there's not a massive pooling of washing, and otherwise you lose the definition between you lose the definition of the details, and it's very hard to then touch up. So actually you just want a really thin glaze of wash, particularly over white, and then it's easy to go in and touch up, and it just reveals all the detail in the model perfectly. Right, I'll go and rectify that now. I'll be back after the next stage. Okay, we're in 45 minutes later now, and as you can see, washing's starting to dry out now, so I've managed to get the heads and the weapons blacked up on some of the guys, but I've actually spent most of my time on this guy here. So if I can just show you him, if I can actually pick him up. So what I've done here is, again, I've gone over all the white, so I've managed to basically get the definitions out, and I've started to put a little bit of white on his shoulder pad there as well. So I've put those little triangles of white in, put the feathers on the sword, and then on the other shoulder pad here you can actually see that I've put the feathers in there as well. Now they're not quite perfect yet. I think I must be the absolute messiest painter in the whole history of the world. I am terrible for going backwards and forwards. If I'm doing, for instance at the moment I'm doing white and black, so I'll put a bit of white on, mess it up, go all over the black, knit back to the black, paint that back up, go on the white a little bit, and constantly going back and just repairing the damage that I do all over the place. So I'm really awful for that, but that is why the wet palette is so good, and I would be absolutely at a loss if I didn't have a wet palette, because I've been painting now for about an hour and you can see still nice even wet black and white paint there. I can keep constantly switching backwards and forwards to use, and I think that's why I really like painting as well. Actually, it's definitely a hobby that you can get wrong, but it doesn't matter because you just go back over what you've done before. So anyway, there you go, that's my painting for tonight. A bit more hobby progress done, and I hope this has been of some interest to you guys. Take care, I'll see you next time.